What's up, folks? Today I'm going to talk about Berklee Online, what it is, my thoughts about it, my experience with it, and just my overall thoughts about, taking classes in the Berklee Online environment for the last few months. To start things off, what Berklee Online is, basically it's a bunch of courses that Berklee College of Music offers, except just for online learners. So from what I can get from their website, it's completely separate from the campus learning experience and even like the campus course selection. The Berklee Online courses are not the same as Berklee in-person courses. They seem to be structured a little bit differently, and courses seem to be made explicitly for the Berklee Online environment. So where I began, I've always wanted to go to Berklee. I always thought it'd be really cool to pursue music, in kind of like a higher ed, like not just music, but like, contemporary music, contemporary pop music in a higher ed format. And I had never really done that because, I didn't really see the return on the investment at the time. Like, straight up, Berklee is a ton of money, and I didn't think it at the time, when I was going to college, that it would be the right investment to make. So, now that I've got my degree, grad degree, have a decent paying job, I do these Berklee Online courses so I can kind of get my music education at a slower pace without having like everything ride on making it in music. And so I started taking courses back in, I think March of 2020. Yeah, March of 2020. So several months ago now. And since March of 2020, I've taken 5 courses. So I took one, they're split into 4 semesters throughout the year. So March to June was one semester, June to September was another semester, and then September to, I think, December, which is happening now, is a third semester. So I took one class between March and June, 2 classes between June and September, and I'm taking 2 more classes now. So I've got a little bit of history with Berklee, and I feel like I have a decent understanding of what to expect when signing up for a class. The majority of the classes I've taken so far are in songwriting, so if you're interested in songwriting, this is probably specifically catered towards that. But I also am now taking producing classes and will be branching out into doing more production classes in the future. So, high level overview of the courses. Number 1, the instructors are great. So I've had really good experience with every single instructor I've had so far, both in producing and songwriting courses. They're super responsive, really ingrained in the industry, so like their full-time jobs are, from what I can tell, are actually, being either songwriters for a label or a group, or independent producers for artists and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. Caveat to note though, when you sign up for a course, initially the course will say it's created by someone who's kind of well known in the industry. So for example, like a songwriting course, all the songwriting courses are created, or lyric writing courses I should say, are created by Pat Pattison. However, Pat Pattison doesn't really teach the individual online courses. Basically there'll be instructors who are not Pat Pattison, other people who are super qualified but not Pat Pattison, who teach these courses. However, what will come in the courses are recorded videos by Pat Pattison or whoever the instructor is. But the instructor who will be leading your Zoom calls, grading your assignments, giving you feedback, won't be the name of the person who created the course, but it'll be another person who's very qualified in the music industry as well, but not the person who created the course. So big FYI that I necessarily did not really realize until I got into these courses and then saw how it worked. So that's just one thing to note. Number 2. Number 2. Very diverse group of people taking these courses. So, people of all ages and different parts of their life. A lot of people who are in their older years too were taking this course. So, I was so far in the 5 classes I've taken, I'm generally one of the younger people in the courses, and I that was interesting to me because I thought it would be the other way around. I thought I'd be one of the older people in the courses, but really it's a lot of people who are, working people, retired people, really anyone who's got a bunch of money to now, if you have an interest in music, you got some money, invest in this course. So it's not the student group that I thought it would be. It's more mature, more professional students. And frankly, I really like it. I get a lot more. There's a lot more opportunity for more in-depth feedback on your assignments, your songs. I find it the collaboration, the back and forth on the Zoom calls are really focused. You know, we're not really talking about nonsense or stupid stuff, but we're really getting more into the subject matter at a deeper level, and that's something I really have appreciated, and I think has to do with having a kind of a skewed older student age demographic. So that's another thing to note. Thirdly, thirdly, so the material, the actual material that they'll be teaching you is pretty in depth, I'd say, from my perspective. So I don't really know how this stuff goes down, you know, in the industry itself, because, you know, I'm just trying to get into music tangentially, slowly. But from my perspective, the amount of material and assignments and optional assignments that they give you are a ton, frankly. Like, you won't run out of things to learn or do for your class. Like I actually have been struggling to keep up with my work, even though I thought it would be the opposite. I thought I'd, you know, be done with the lessons and the exercises super quick. But really, there's a lot of material if you really dive into it, and a ton of supplemental material as well. And if you get into giving feedback to your classmates, you can go down a rabbit hole of, not a rabbit hole of positivity, of, you know, critiquing and getting ideas from other people's work and giving feedback to other people. So that's a third thing. Fourth wise, I think there's a great opportunity to collaborate outside of school with some of these people that you meet in your classes. I've kind of yet to take the opportunity to do so, but frankly, I think it'd be a great way to create some of your own music with really talented people outside, talented and interested people in making, you know, very good quality sounding music outside of courses. Let me see. I guess, you know, to be honest with you, the only real downside in my mind is that it's online, you know, and you get into that when you sign up for it, but I really do enjoy in-person learning, and Zoom is close to that. It approximates it, but it's really not the same as, you know, being in the same room with all these people and, you know, sharing ideas face to face. You still have that, you know, interface of the computer in between you now. And while that's not terrible, that's just the way it is with these online classes. So if I had to give a real negative, I think that would be the main one. Let's see, to sum things up, yeah, instructors give very good feedback for the most part. I'd say I really haven't had much of an issue. If you submit your assignment on time, you'll most likely get pretty good feedback from every instructor. And if you email them, they tend to be super responsive as well. Let's see. Oh yeah, last main pro that I want to talk about is, frankly, taking classes from Berklee Online is so much cheaper than going to Berklee in person. So, you know, to be like straight up, if you take a course, it's gonna be about $1,200 a course. That's if you take it for non-credit. So like, I'm not trying to get a degree here, so I'm just taking course by course to get the information. And so it's about $1,200 a course. But if you were to go in person and like be at the school, it would be, I think, you know, let's say you take 5 courses a semester or 4 courses, that'd be online would be like $5,000, $6,000. But if you were at Berklee, that cost would be, I think, like $15,000, $12,000 to $15,000, like 2 to 3x the amount you pay for online. So frankly, like I first of all, like, full transparency, I've never taken a course at Berklee, but I don't think they're super far away from the Berklee Online courses. And, you know, feel free to chime in the comments if you think like there's a major difference between the in-person classes and the online classes. But from what I can tell, it's not super different. From what I can tell and what I'm guessing, it's not super different. So for that price savings, I think it's a pretty good deal to get like a top tier music education course from people who are really into their hobby, from professors or instructors who are, you know, ingrained in the music industry, and really like-minded people as well. So overall, I've really enjoyed my courses. I'm gonna stick with these Berklee Online courses going forward. And I mean, if you can swing it and you're interested in learning music at a higher degree, I totally recommend them. There's really not too many negatives other than the cost. Sure, like 1,200 bucks is super expensive. I've learned a ton in the last 3 months. I've really learned a ton. And I'll probably end up making more videos about the courses, getting into a little bit more specifically what they teach. But overall, just a quick overview. I've really enjoyed my Berklee courses. I've learned a lot. I think I'm getting better overall, mainly as a songwriter, but also as a producer too. It definitely takes a lot of time to kind of see the improvement. But you know, given since I started taking the first course about 6, 7 months ago, there definitely has been a bunch of improvement in my songwriting and noticeable improvement that I'm actually quite proud of. Like the songwriting courses I'm in now, the work that I'm doing for my assignments is at a much higher quality than it was for the assignments that I was submitting, you know, at my first songwriting course. So I'm very happy of that. It's kind of cool to see yourself learn and gain a new skill over time. And that's something I definitely have noticed with my songwriting work. So that's about it. All right, thanks so much. See you guys.